Dave Ramsey says save 20%. Every realtor says budget 6% for closing. Your bank wants a 620 FICO. There is a program that ignores all of that. Zero down, zero PMI, zero closing costs, no FICO floor. A below market rate of 5.25% when the country is paying 6.3, $20 billion in committed funding sitting behind it. And almost nobody talks about it. We'll cover what it is, who actually qualifies, and the one thing it costs you that nothing else can. Picture Dan. He is renting in a New England coastal town. 11 years of paying somebody else's mortgage. He has $5,700 saved, not $5,000. $5,700. He counted it on a Sunday morning while reading a column about how a first-time buyer in 2026 needs about $50,000 in cash to close on a starter home. $5,700 versus $50,000. He closed the laptop. He stared at the ceiling. This is the part where he was supposed to give up. Save another decade. Move further out. Wait for prices to crack. Maybe. Inherit something. Instead, Dan typed 5 words into Google. NACA program first-time buyer. And the rest of this video is what he found. Quick note before we go further. Real estate rules change by state and by year. This is for education, not legal or financial advice. Always check current details with a counselor or attorney. Okay, onward. NACA stands for Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America. It is a Boston-headquartered nonprofit that has been running its homeownership program since 1988. It is not a startup, not a viral TikTok loophole. It is older than most YouTube channels. And it does something that should not be legal. It closes houses with 4 zeros. Zero down, not 3.5%. Zero. Zero PMI. The private mortgage insurance your bank usually piles on when you put less than 20% down. NACA does not have it. Period. Zero closing costs. Not a discount, not a rebate. Zero. No FICO floor. NACA does not pull a credit score the way other lenders do. They use what is called character-based underwriting. That is the framework. Call it the 4 zeros. Remember it. It is the entire pitch, and we are about to show you why each one is real, who pays for them, and what they cost the buyer instead. Where does the money come from? Bank of America. NACA, the nonprofit, handles the counseling and the application file. Bank of America underwrites the actual mortgage. The bank has publicly committed $20 billion to this program, $15 billion of which is parked specifically behind the NACA mortgage product. $20 billion, sitting there, waiting for a first-time buyer who never heard the name. When a bank that big commits that much capital to one program, it is not a gimmick. Now the rate. As of September 2025, NACA's published rate for what they call priority members was 5.25% on a 30-year fixed. 5.25! Want to know what the rest of the country was paying that same year? By May of 2026, the national average 30-year fixed rate sat at about 6.35%, according to Fortune. NACA priority members were undercutting the market by more than 1 full percentage point. Here is what that does to a real loan. Picture a $200,000 mortgage, standard 30-year fixed. At 6.35%, your monthly principal and interest is about $1,244. Over the life of the loan, you pay roughly $248,000 in interest, almost as much in interest as you paid for the house. Same loan at NACA's 5.25%. Monthly principal and interest drops to about $1,104. Lifetime interest comes in at roughly $197,000. The difference? Roughly $51,000 saved over the life of one mortgage on one house from one program. And that is before you do anything clever with it, because there is a buy down on top. NACA buyers can pay points up front to drop the rate further. Each point equals 1% of the loan. If the seller agrees to contribute, the rate can be pushed all the way down to as low as 0.125% on paper. That is not a typo. NACA's literature says 0.125. So you saw the savings number, $51,000. That is the lifetime interest difference on a $200,000 loan. But here is where the program gets interesting, and where most people quit. NACA is not a free pass. It is a sorting machine. 2 tiers, priority, non-priority member. Priority members are households with income under 100% of their area's median income, the local AMI. Below that line, you could buy a home anywhere in the metro area at the lower priority rate. In the New York City Metro for 2026, the priority cap for a 1 or 2 person household sits around $86,000. For a 3+ person household, it climbs to about $99,000. Above that line, you become a non-priority member. You still get the program, but you can only buy in what NACA calls priority areas, low to moderate income census tracts. The map is published. The boundaries are not negotiable. Now, FICO. NACA does not pull your credit score the way most lenders do. They look at 12 consecutive months of clean payment history, rent on time, utilities on time, installment loans current. Historically, about 65% of NACA approvals had a FICO under 620, almost half had scores under 580. People who would have been auto-rejected by every other lender in the country walked out qualified. The catch is owner occupancy. You have to live in the home as your primary residence. NACA places a lien on the property to enforce it. If you rent the place out while the NACA mortgage is active, NACA can demand $25,000 and start foreclosure. This is not a side hustle program. This is the home you live in. Debt to income. Total monthly debt under 43% of gross income. Mortgage payment alone under 31%. Up to 35% in high-cost areas. These are real rules, not suggestions. They are the gate. Picture Dan at his kitchen table. He just learned he qualifies. He has $5,700 saved. He thinks he is 3 weeks from a house. He is about to find out he is 3 to 9 months from a house. And the reason is the entire point of this program. NACA does not let you just apply. You enter a pipeline. Step 1, the homebuyer workshop. Mandatory. A few hours, virtual or in person. You do not skip it. You sit through it. Step 2, intake counseling. One-on-one with an assigned counselor. You bring 30 days of pay stubs, 2 years of tax returns, 2 years of W-2 forms, bank statements. The counselor builds your budget line by line. Step 3, qualification phase. The counselor calculates your payment shock, the difference between your current rent and your projected mortgage payment. Then they ask you to save that difference for 3 to 6 consecutive months. Not as a deposit, as a test. If your future mortgage is $2,000 and your rent is $1,200, NACA wants to see $800 extra sitting in your account every month for half a year before they qualify you. Step 4, purchase action plan. After qualification, you attend a purchase workshop, receive your NACA qualification certificate, and start house hunting with a NACA-approved agent. The whole thing? Per NACA's own FAQ. About 3 months from workshop to qualified status if you arrive fully prepared. 6 months on average if you are not. Up to a year if you have unresolved collections, bankruptcies, or charge-offs. This is the slow part. This is what nobody puts in the thumbnail. Here is what real buyers say. On Reddit's NACA Members Forum, July of 2025, a buyer closed on a $347,000 house, their timeline. April 27th, submitted application. April 28th, finished the course. May 9th, intake counseling. May 15th, qualified. May 24th, accepted offer. That is roughly 27 days from application to accepted offer. The fastest documented run on record. The buyer's secret? Their debts were paid off and savings stacked before they applied. A second buyer, Maryland, posted in 2021, workshop in May. Pre-approved by July 29th. Offer accepted August 30th. Total timeline from workshop to accepted offer. About 3.5 months. The buyer's quote, word for word. Required a lot of patience. A third buyer never finished. They started the program. Counseling identified a $3,200 medical collection. They disputed it. The dispute took 60+ days. Meanwhile, prices in their target market kept moving. After 8 months without qualification, they walked, took an FHA loan with a state grant, and closed in 45 days. Their public regret? They wish someone had told them to clean up the credit before applying to NACA. Not during. 3 real outcomes. 3 different speeds. Same program. Here is what nobody warned the buyer who quit. The slow part is the savings part, the counseling, the payment shock test, the 12 months of clean payments. It is not a delay. It is a discount machine. The reason Bank of America commits $20 billion to this product is because NACA delivers borrowers who can actually pay. The buyer goes through 6 months of structured savings before closing. By the time they get keys, they have 6 months of mortgage-sized payments parked in an account. They are not surprised by the new bill. They are preconditioned to it. That is why the loan performs. That is why the rate is below market. That is why there is no PMI. The bank's risk has already been worked out of the borrower. Once you see the math, you stop being mad about the timeline. You start using it. So what does Dan do? He goes to the NACA website. He does not need to sign up for anything to start. He registers for a free homebuyer workshop. They run online. They run multiple times a week. He attends one. He takes notes. The next day, he opens NACA's web file portal and creates a profile. He uploads his 30 days of pay stubs, his last 2 years of taxes, his bank statements. He requests an intake appointment with a counselor. Then he starts the test. He calculates his future mortgage on a $120,000 house at 5.25%. About $662 in principal and interest. His rent is $1,500, so payment shock is in his favor. But he runs the test anyway. He sets up an automatic transfer, $800 a month into a separate account, untouchable, for 6 months. While that runs, he keeps every payment clean: rent, utilities, phone, credit card, no late fees, no skipped due dates. He treats his on-time payments like the FICO score he never had. 3 months in, the counselor asks for the savings statement. He sends it. Approved trajectory. 6 months in, he has a NACA qualification certificate. He goes house hunting in the New England coastal town where he still rents. He finds a small Cape-style house. $130,000. He offers, he closes. He pays $0 at signing. Zero! He moves in with about $5,400 still in the bank. The same $5,700 he started with, minus an inspection fee and a year of priority membership dues. His new monthly payment, principal and interest, is about $717. His rent the day before he closed was $1,500. He is not paying his landlord anymore. He is paying his own mortgage. And the difference, roughly $780 a month, flows back into the same untouchable account he opened 6 months earlier. That account is no longer a savings test. It is now a roof fund, a furnace fund, or the down payment on his second house in 3 years. Real estate investing, the kind that actually moves a regular life, starts at the moment somebody stops paying rent. The NACA program is one of the cleanest paths to that moment in the country. It is slow, it is paperwork heavy, it is patient, it rewards people who sit through the workshop and do the test. So if you are sitting on $5,000 in a long lease and you have been told you cannot buy a house, go look up NACA today. Register for a workshop. Sit through it. Open the portal. Start the test. The savings are not just in the rate. The savings are in the discipline you build while you wait. The 4 zeros are real. The mortgage is real. The slow part is real. And the people who make it through own houses they paid almost nothing to enter.